the state of Alabama, located online at universitykia.com. Welcome to Talkin Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And with that, we are back and we are live. It is our Friday edition of Talkin Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone with Scott Theisen, and roles reversed. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I was not in this chair as I was enjoying the beautiful rolling hills of dead corn in Iowa. When I say dead corn, it was being harvested for America, by the way, so thank you. You're welcome. Steve Moulton filled in for me. Now Drew DeArmond has packed up the Drew Truckster, and he is headed to Tuscaloosa this morning. He is going to get a firsthand glimpse of Alabama's basketball practice this morning, bright and early. He's going to have breakfast, though, by the way. That's the important thing. It's not the basketball practice. It's the breakfast is the important thing.
Oh, yeah.
On this show, it's all about the food, all about the whatever you're going to have. So breakfast is the important thing. The second thing is the basketball practice. But Steve Moulton filling in for Drew DeArmond this morning, so he is with us for 2 hours.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yes, well, you were here so you didn't get fined. That is how that works. They will levy the fine against you if you are not here on time. The czar has an iron fist.
I really thought about showing up at around 7:15, but
the czar would be like, "You're getting fined $50." You don't even know it until it comes out of your paycheck.
I know.
Anyway, 256-576-4977. That's how you can be a part of the show on a Friday morning. A lot to get to. Some college football, high school football, a lot at stake there. We're going to check in with our usual guest on Friday, Madison Academy head coach Bob Godsey, David Lloyd from Randolph. They'll join us. Plus, we'll also throw in some other things along the way. High school football did start last night under the lights. James Clemens taking on Grissom. A win by James Clemens last night locked up the Class 7A Region 4 title. And the Jets scored in every facet of the game. They scored on offense. They scored on defense. They scored on special teams. They would lead 21-0 after the end of the first quarter. They go on to win 35-7 in a game you and I had the privilege of enjoying. Beautiful weather for a high school game.
It was weird, though, in the fact of how many different ways they scored. In fact, the third quarter in particular.
There was a rugby scrum that somehow James Clemens ended up with the ball and scored a touchdown on. Literally, it looked like something out of a rugby play.
Yeah.
And then the interception, the ball...
It deflected off of a wide receiver's face mask.
Yes.
And it went to
the defender.
Yeah.
Who was being blocked at the same time by the wide receiver.
But the wide receiver wasn't paying attention to the football.
No.
But it ended up like right in front of him. So that was weird. There's no other way to put it, and that was weird.
So tonight, if you have the 97.7 ESPN, the app downloaded, you're going to be able to hear some good games. On Zone 3, Randolph is going to take on Priceville tonight at Priceville. The winner there is going to get the number 2 seed, going to be at home for round 1 of the playoffs. Now, if Randolph gets a win, that means Priceville does not. If Priceville doesn't get the win, North Jackson beats DAR, Priceville could fall down to the 4th spot in the region. If DAR would somehow knock off North Jackson and Priceville doesn't get by Randolph, Priceville could get the 3 seed. But Randolph with a win would be at home for the second straight year in the playoffs. On Zone 4, Sparkman needs a win against Florence to have a shot to make the playoffs. They also need some help along the way, meaning they need Austin to get a win. They need Bob Jones to get a win. James Clemens did their part for Sparkman last night by getting a win, but basically it comes down to this. Sparkman, you get a win, and you hope everybody else does so that you can get in. And then on Zone 2, a game where you will be at.
That's right.
Madison Academy, which, by the way, secured at least a share of the region title last week thanks to Susan Moore getting tripped up by J.B. Pennington, can get the number 1 seed tonight with a win and be at home for the playoffs.
There it is. And stay undefeated as well on the season for Coach Bob Godsey. And I know you guys spoke to Coach Godsey yesterday, and
yeah,
we'll play that interview for you later on in the program. But this has been a fun team to follow in Madison Academy this year with excellent talent on both sides. Ken Cherry now has over 20 rushing touchdowns on the year for Madison Academy, and AJ on the defensive side, of course, the verbal commit to Mississippi State. He has just been AJ Rice.
Right.
He's fun to watch. He really is. And you can see his growth from last year to this year, and he's a junior this year. So there's still one more year. There is no transfer portal yet for these high school players, so one more year of AJ.
Oh, well, there's not an official transfer portal, but on this show, we'll tell you up point, there's a little bit of something going on in some of these schools. Mark Hudspeth in Gulf Shores.
Or, you could have a kid up and move from Spain Park to Thompson mid-season.
Well, not even mid-season.
Well, midweek.
Like, I get done playing in my game on Friday, I walk into the locker room, and then on Saturday I'm playing for Thompson. Because that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, so there's that too. So, there's...
Literally got done playing on Friday night, helped Spain Park beat Hewitt Trustville, and then goes to Thompson in a move.
I think we ought to move. When? How about tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Like, Mom's packing the car while I'm playing my game, and we're just going to leave tonight.
What? So
we're going to grab a Whataburger on the way. We're just
Mom, I'm
going to
go up to my room. No, you're not.
We're moving.
You don't have a room.
You're going to be at Thompson's practice in the morning.
We're 10 miles down the road. Come on.
There's nothing fishy about that move at all.
Of course not. Of course not. Happens all the time.
Oh, it does. In some of those schools, it does. 256-576-4977. So there's a little high school football for you. Again, make sure you have the 97.7 ESPN, the app downloaded. A lot of stuff going on.
Oh, we've got hockey on tonight as well.
Oh, that's right, we do. Zone 5, if you want, if that's your cup of tea, you want to listen to hockey.
Pensacola is in town.
Yeah. Stuart Steffenera has gotten off to a good start, hasn't he?
The undefeated Huntsville Havoc.
He's got a lot to live up to, but Glenn DiTullio, longtime head coach, going to be honored before the home opener tonight there inside Probst Arena. So hockey is back. Doesn't feel like it. 78, 80 degrees outside.
Enjoy it right now.
Yeah, that ice is going to be a little soft inside the Von Braun Center.
It's crank up. Well, they have cranked up the AC.
They need to. It's with the out. I'm being serious about that. Usually when it's warmer here and it's warmer outside, that ice in there sometimes has a tendency to be a little soft. The guys sometimes don't like it as much because it's not as hard, and they can't get a lot of speed.
That humidity,
on that ice.
hard to keep that humidity out of any building.
You got to work a little bit harder. Hey, so college football will reign supreme once again tomorrow, and Alabama is off. And every Thursday this is great. There's 2 times that you can hear Nick Saban on Thursday. Once is on our airways at night for head coach. The other is on the Pat McAfee show during the afternoon. And I have said this from the beginning of the season. Nick Saban is way more relaxed on the Pat McAfee show than he is anywhere else.
Yeah, you can tell. Just his body language.
Yes. And last night and yesterday, Pat McAfee had him talking about all kinds of things. And one of the clips was, after the game on Tennessee, did you smoke or did you bite or chomp the cigar? Here's Coach.
I've never lit one up in all the years that I've been here. So I chew on them a while. But the great thing about it is to see the players have so much fun, be so excited after the game and have so much fun with the whole thing. It really is. It's a unique locker room, believe me.
Okay, I love.
a
unique locker room.
A unique locker room. Yeah. Yeah.
And in the same vein, I've heard him say several times how much he likes this team. And it's a very unique team, a very young team.
Yeah.
It's
Well, Coach also was asked about enjoying a drink and about having a drink afterwards or just simply having a drink.
No drink. I used to drink. When we had kids and my kids were growing up, I decided, I didn't want to set that kind of example for them. So I just quit drinking, and probably the best thing I ever did. Never have a hangover, never feel bad. Just don't do it.
Buddy, me too, man. I drink like 1/1000th of what I used to do. I have no idea how I used to do it. Like, I get a hangover now at this age, and it takes me out 4 days. It's like, bro, what the hell? It's a whole new world. It's a whole new world.
Yeah, I believe me. And you have more fun and you enjoy it more. You enjoy the relationships more. So it's been a good thing for me. One of the best things I've decided to do.
Okay. So Pat McAfee says 1/1000th. I want to know exactly what 1/1000th of what Pat McAfee usually puts down. I'm still saying that is. I'm no longer drinking a case of beer. I'm down to 2 beers.
Right.
I mean.
So Nick got a little bit. So the whole thing with Pat McAfee and Nick Saban is Pat McAfee's been giving him a hard time for his Ferrari.
Really?
Nick Saban has a Ferrari.
Yes. No,
Yes.
I that is one thing at the spring meetings when Coach Saban walked past me, I said around the reporters, I want to know more about this Ferrari factory.
Yeah.
And Coach said for me to come on by and we'll take it for a spin. And I was like, saddle up. I'm good. Come on.
McAfee asked him again about this Ferrari yesterday.
Here for the bye week, huh? We gonna golf. We're driving around the Ferrari. We having maybe Miss Terry out on the boat having a day. What are we doing for a bye week, huh? We living a little? Yeah. Chewing some cigars? What are we doing?
I drive I don't know. I'm sure I'm obsessive compulsive or something, but I only drive the Ferrari on Wednesday if it's not raining. So that's kind of the program.
I don't know if I'm obsessive compulsive, but I'm on Wednesday if it's not raining. Okay, I love that. I can't wait to see that sometime.
But we will go to. It's my birthday coming up on Halloween, so we always go to the lake. We have a birthday dinner with a bunch of our friends on Saturday and turn around and come back. So, but it's enjoyable. I mean, even though I still watch film and I'll be looking at LSU cut-ups and all that stuff, it's enjoyable to just have a change of scenery, if you know what I mean. When you're working 12 and 14 hours a day ever since August 1st, it's great just to have a little time to decompress in a different environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he only drives it on Wednesdays if it's not raining. So there you go.
How would you just like to have a lake house that you're there for maybe like a month out of the year? I mean, just, you know what? Let's go to the lake house.
And it's not like a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom lake house.
No.
It's not like they're using an economy kitchen either.
I feel like that could be a sitcom of whoever is the house sitter over there, and then all of a sudden Miss Terry calls and, oh, crap, I got to get everything in order.
I wonder if he VRBOs it.
Now that would be fantastic. And you know what? I would need Wes to rent that out for us for a summer vacation. That would be fantastic.
You could VRBO Nick Saban's vacation beach house for a week.
Probably not happening, but that would be fantastic.
Oh my gosh! Can you imagine the waiting list for that thing? Because it would come with the jet skis. It would come with everything in there.
If it came with the Ferrari too.
Oh my goodness.
I would love to note that, when you do go into those houses, you usually have like a pamphlet. That would be like an encyclopedia. Okay, you can only open this from 10 a.m. to 10:04 a.m. You can only do this at this time. And if it's raining, then this is your handbook. And
Oh, all right. 7:15. There you go. A little bit of college football. Alabama, of course, on the bye week. We'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk a little bit about other stuff. Plus, we got to get to the Auburn Tigers taking on Mississippi State this weekend. A lot of stuff to get through. It's Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Just got a wreck southbound on the Parkway near Gulf Road. That one is coming in as an injury type. Had an injury type reported on Carroll Road at Yarborough, but they have canceled HIMSY responding to it. Traffic level heavy all across the valley. You be careful on your trip in. Get 2 pieces of hand-breaded, juicy, tender signature chicken and a buttermilk biscuit for $4.99 at Popeyes. University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Is your AC system or heating unit making those sounds that go bump in the middle of the night? Thomas here from Talkin Heating and Air again. Thomas, you guys are just a phone call away from keeping those ghosts and goblins from causing nightmare problems.
That's right. We're offering a $59 special right now to do a heating tune-up. That's getting your air conditioner or your heater ready for the wintertime. We're also doing a free gas safety inspection along with that. So if you have gas in your home, we have Master Gas here on staff. We're certified with the state to take care of all your gas issues. So we're going to throw that in with that $59 tune-up.
And if you can get that tune-up now, it'll be ready to go once the cold temperature set in.
That's right. Yeah, all you have to do is give us a call at 256-503-4490. Visit us at our website, talenthvac.com. We'll be more than happy to get out there and get you tuned up.
One more time with the phone number.
256-503-4490.
Talent Heating and Air. Don't let those heating and cooling units go bump in the night.
AL cert number 21014.
The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Corralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day, Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at $5. Corralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. You know I'm a dirt lawyer, and a lot of our friends know that, which means we specialize in real estate. Now, if you own real estate or you're buying it or you're selling it, you need to do a closing, but a lot of times there's legal issues associated with that. We're a great group to talk to. My son, Lewis McDonald, heads our commercial closing division, and we approach your real estate needs very seriously. We seek to be the premier real estate closing company in North Alabama, and we do it in such a way it shows that we're experienced, we're for your success. We like to handle your real estate needs the same way Coach Dan Reeves used to say, never let them see you sweat, and that's going to be to your benefit, too, when you visit us at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. Our website online is jacobtitle.com.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms of varicose veins include pain, swelling, aching, heaviness, and fatigue. Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville can diagnose and treat your varicose veins with the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Call 256-715-7151 to schedule your free screening. Go to bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
The throw and catch to the Ocho will stand. Desmond rolling to the end zone, dives for the score.
Download the app and listen to Atlanta Falcons football right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Robinson caught it off his hip and he scores. Unbelievable.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. Not here. Steve Moulton sitting in for one Drew DeArmond as Drew makes his way to Tuscaloosa this morning. I know he's listening because that's what he does. 256-576-4977.
Hi, Drew.
Yeah, he is listening. I know that. So this is a good time to do this because you and I are both Heisman voters.
Yes, we are. Yes.
And The Athletic does this every week.
This season is ridiculous.
They do a Heisman straw poll, and they poll Heisman voters from The Athletic and around the area, and they give you a sample voting of where things stand according to their straw poll. And right now, this is – I don't know how this is because to me, I do not consider him number one, but he was not number one last week. He is number one this week. Caleb Williams is leading the Athletic Heisman straw poll. He has taken over. Michael Penix, after the win against Oregon, vaulted to number one.
That's where I would have gone. That's what I would have thought.
This week, Caleb Williams has vaulted back to number one, 20 first-place votes, 12 second, and 1/3.
Is there something I'm missing?
No, you're not. Michael Penix is now number two, according to the Athletic straw poll. 13 first-place votes, 13 second, and third place. Bo Nix is number 3, followed by Brock Bowers at number 4. Brock Bowers isn't even playing right now. He's number 4.
He's done. He's
Cam Ward, Quinn Ewers, Jordan Travis, Sam Hartman, Tyler Van Dyke, Luther Burden, Ray Davis, and Dylan Gabriel all getting votes according to the Athletic Heisman straw poll.
I could see the rationale for Luther Burden, and boy, this is a bye week for Missouri, getting ready for at Georgia, I believe, next weekend. So
right. He's getting one vote. He got one third-place vote. That got him on the list. Is Jordan Travis, this is the one I was going to bet, is Jordan Travis too low in this list? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th down on the list.
Yeah, it's way too low. That's way too low. For me. What about you?
I'm going to say this is –
he'd be in my top 4 right now.
I'm trying to see what Caleb Williams did last week. I want to see what he did.
To me, how you play in the bigger games is a bigger deal to me. What about you?
Well, I say that, and Caleb Williams in the small games struggled. So – last week against Utah, on the 21st, Caleb Williams threw for 256 yards, no touchdowns.
How you perform in the biggest games is a big deal to me.
To me, that is a big game.
Oh, yeah. No, that's my point That's why I
asked. My bad. So my bad. I'm an idiot. That is the October 3rd poll. Here's the real one. Michael Penix Jr. is 1. Okay. Marvin Harrison is 2. Jaden Daniels is 3.
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel's 4. J.J. McCarthy's 5. Bo Nix is 6. Then Luther. Then Jordan. Then Dallas. Cooper DeJean. Brock Bowers. Those are your big ones. So Michael Penix Jr. is leading the way. He's solid. He's solidly out in front. Marvin Harrison Jr. is catching fire with Ohio State.
Yes, he is. And every reason why he is the superstar on that team.
Jaden Daniels is third. He's coming to Tuscaloosa next week. He's off this week. Jaden Daniels comes to Tuscaloosa. What if Jaden Daniels has a monster game against Alabama?
Then he is in the conversation in a big way. If you take a look at the statistics, and although I would have to really go back and see how he performed in the Florida State game, I can't remember him standing out in that game. But again, the bigger games and how you perform is a bigger deal to me.
Right.
So,
but what if you don't perform well in the smaller games?
Well,
I mean, let's take Jaden Daniels and let's say against Texas A&M, who's out of the race. Or you take on a Arkansas team. I mean, what about the smaller games?
I mean, you have to take care of business. There's no doubt that you have to take care of business. But to me, how you are a leader on the team, on the field, and how you are you not making the silly mistakes out there during both the big games and the small games.
So Michael Penix Jr., Marvin Harrison, or Jaden Daniels. Right now, I would give my first-place vote to Jaden Daniels. Where would you put your first-place vote on?
I mean, without doing the amount of research that I would go Penix.
Penix?
Followed by Daniels. But I do try to take a look at some defensive players and some Marvin Harrison Jr. I think deserves a real hard look as well.
Yeah.
I like voting for just other positions than quarterback. I like to take a look, although this has turned into a quarterback type of an award.
5, 6 of the top 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are quarterbacks.
There is and listen, this is obscure. I know it, but I'm going to fall into it, at least from what I've seen. So James Madison is one of the undefeated teams out there.
Yes.
And their stats do not count. And the individual stats do not count as well. And the leader in sacks is a kid by the name of Jalen Green, who has 13 sacks on the year. And it's somebody I'm going to take a closer look at. And if he deserves to be on the list, then he deserves to be on the list, whether or not the NCAA counts his statistics or not.
It's the NC double dumb on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example.
Well, no, because, I mean, James Madison, yeah. Okay, I tell you what, let's get to Pat from Tuscaloosa real fast. Good morning, Pat.
Hey, good morning, guys. What I called about this morning is I'm hearing that Jimmy Raines opened up the checkbooks and coming in to scavenge Alabama's quarterback room.
I don't know on that one. I mean, look, I'll just say this. Jalen Milroe, your starter. Do not be surprised if Ty Simpson. Do not be surprised. I mean, not just anyone. I mean, there's going to be an exodus of quarterbacks just because of the way it is right now in college football. Alabama could lose 1 to 2 quarterbacks in the offseason simply because of the transfer portal.
Well, something else to think about, Pat, and I didn't really realize this, but the way it's structured right now, when the portal opens up, the way it looks right now, the uncertainty for Washington State and for Oregon State, if they don't have a true home by the time the portal opens, there's already been some big talk on what the kids are going to do. Maybe jump all into the portal. Not all, but a significant number.
Yeah, but Pat, I'd be prepared for Alabama to lose a couple quarterbacks on this. I mean, this year.
I don't know about that. I mean,
well, Jalen Milroe's not going anywhere, and I mean, Ty Simpson could have had the job, didn't take over the job.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's content to be in a backup and trying to push Jalen Milroe, then I say he'll stay. But I don't see him staying. I see him wanting to go somewhere else.
If Nick wants him bad enough, he is going to convince him to stay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that is – because what did we all say this spring as soon as Buckner came into town? and that was, Jalen Milroe's going into the transfer portal. Yeah. And that didn't happen.
I mean, Buckner, I think he's gone as well. I mean, he's not coming back.
Well, it felt like he was there more for educational purposes for the system, and now all of a sudden the system has been, that book has been rewritten.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, I got one more question before I let y'all go. I know you guys are not gamblers, but it looks like to me that Florida, Georgia, that Florida is an absolute lock this weekend as far as putting them on your
Lock them up.
Well, let's see here. Okay, 14.5 is
lock them up.
Georgia's a 14.5 point favorite with your over-under at 49. Pat, thanks for the phone call, by the way, too, bud. And
blessed day. Is Drew on assignment today?
Drew's going to be in your neck of the woods today.
Yeah, he's going to watch a little round ball today.
Yeah, he's coming down there to watch some Alabama practice.
I got you. All right. I hope he gets to see something better than what the crap we saw over the weekend. That round ball business has done upset me something fierce. All right. Y'all have a blessed day.
Thanks, Pat.
Thank you, Pat.
I don't think he was too happy with the first half there against Tennessee.
Gracious. I guess not.
But he still got to smoke him, though. So, I mean, it's all one. But so, I'll tell you what, 7:32. Let's get a break in. When we come back, we will hear from Bob Godsey, Madison Academy head football coach.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Definitely a little more cloud cover across the Tennessee Valley. Still, temperature's going to have no problem climbing into the lower 80s. We're dropping into the low 60s through the overnight. Much the same for your Saturday. A partly sunny sky. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid 80s. Definitely going to be an exceptionally warm Saturday afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. We only drop into the mid 60s as we head into the overnight, early into your Sunday morning. A partly sunny sky on Sunday afternoon. Once again, temperatures climbing into the mid 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Picked up a report of a hit-and-run accident at airport in Carl T. Turns out that's a vehicle that just hit the curb. It's not a hit-and-run accident. Southbound on the Parkway at Gulf, that one's reported with injuries. Carroll Road and Yarborough Road reported with injuries, but they canceled HIMSI on it. Officers, construction workers, and first responders put their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. Why not make it safer for them? Slow down or move over. It's the law. Captain Eck in the Jordan Lane, Popeye, Skywatch Traffic Center.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRIEND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Your roof is the first line of defense for your home. Do you have water stains on your ceiling, paint peeling off your walls? Shingles missing? It's probably time for you to get your free roof inspection. Locally owned and operated, licensed, and insured, Yellowhammer Roofing is the Yellowhammer State hometown team. Yellowhammer Roofing. Let our family protect what's most important to you, your family. 256-232-1933 or online at yellowhammerroofing.com.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Welcome back. Talkin Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Steve Moulton filling in for one Drew DeArmond. Coming up here in a little bit, we will hear from Bob Godsey, Madison Academy head coach. But coming up here in just a minute, Tony Basilio is going to join the show. And Tennessee has a big one this week. 21st ranked Tennessee traveling to take on Kentucky. Tennessee, a 3.5-point favorite. Your over-under on this one is 51. Who needs this one more?
Boy, I mean, if you think about the state of the program, this feels like a bigger game to me for Mark Stoops. To me.
Okay.
And I know he's been there for a minute. And
Tennessee is coming off an Alabama loss that saw them play very well in the first half. Didn't cash in on opportunities when they had a chance to, settling for field goals instead of touchdowns. And that has a lot to do with Alabama's defense. They are 5-2 as Tennessee. Tennessee doesn't win this ball game.
Boy.
Do you think, and I'm just going to bring it up to Tony, do you think Tennessee makes a change at quarterback? I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, I know Nico Moneybags hasn't gotten out there to play, and the experience is nothing. But you're 2-3. You're clearly out of the SEC East race. And I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. It could be way off base, but Joe Milton hadn't delivered. I mean, he's thrown for 12 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. I mean, do you think the fans? I wonder what the fans feel like.
I know there's a clamor to see Nico out there, but I think there might be a better clamor to talk further about the offensive line. And I don't know if putting Nico out there is going to – listen, I know everybody wants to win football games, but you also want it fans want to see tomorrow, today all the time too.
Right.
So this Tennessee team is it's constructed differently. I think putting Nico out there would be a mistake, in my opinion.
All right, let's go out to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, the official voice of the common fan, he says, on 99.7 FM, 1040 AM in Knoxville. You can also tune in after Tennessee games, probably for one of the most entertaining shows around the South, around the country, yes.
Win or lose.
It's the fifth quarter fan reaction show. Tony Basilio, kind enough to join us this morning from Knoxville. Tony, you were Scott and Steve this morning. Thank you for waking up with us bright and early.
Oh, come on, guys. Anything for the best, and appreciate the kind words. It's going to be a fun weekend around here.
We kind of asked the question as Tennessee travels to Lexington this weekend, who needs this one more, Tennessee or Kentucky?
Well, I mean, Kentucky always needs it more. A ranked Tennessee team hasn't lost in Kentucky, to Kentucky, however you want to put that, since 1959. There's your number.
Wow. Didn't realize it's been that long.
Tony.
Stoops coming off a bye week. His number's like 5-8 or off and off week. I mean, Tennessee, I had Watson Brown on with me the other day. Tennessee is going to have to try to lose this game. Now, they might succeed. I mean, it's college football, and Joe Milton's your quarterback. So. I mean, anything's possible, but they're going to have to try, and I mean try, and lose this game.
What has the reaction been this week like on your program, Tony?
It's been mostly that it's just kind of a shame because Tennessee had a chance against an Alabama team that, as you guys know, is not a vintage Alabama team, kind of an eminently beatable Alabama team. To me, the line of demarcation in that game was when Josh Heupel decided not to keep the game in front of him and punted a football, which is what he should have done at midfield. And instead of punting, the football, they go there, which we had a breakdown on my blog this week. Some guy in Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm not kidding you guys, this is how serious people are about this stuff, went back and looked at every situation and play under Heupel in terms of third and fourth downs or fourth downs, whether or not to go. And he 100% of the time is going to go in that spot. There's only one time where he's kicked the ball away, and that was with Texas A&M the week before. And they got a punt return touchdown out of it, which is, to me, the way to coach this team. The way to coach this team is to keep games in front of you. Joe Milton's not going to play your offense that you're used to playing. He's just not. It's not going to happen.
It's definitely different. There's no doubt about that. And I know there for a minute, Sampson was kind of the flavor of the week, if so to speak. But this running game, the offensive line, how have they looked to you this year, Tony?
I mean, they're getting the most out of what they have. They had huge losses last year, and the issue with them is they haven't developed guys. So they're relying on upperclassmen, and, Ollie Lane is the guy who never thought he'd be playing this much football for them.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, he was done after last year, and they essentially talked him into coming back. He was kind of done with football, done with getting his body beat up. It's a tough game. And here he has this degree, and he's a local kid. And the thing about this club is they've gotten about what they have out of their team. The strange thing about it, though, is the league is so tantalizing because they lost to a really, really bad Florida team. They lost to an Alabama team that's extremely beatable. But by the same token, they beat that Texas A&M team that's got more talent than they do. And so, you kind of get what you get. The thing that is interesting, though, in the league this year is there are a lot of teams sitting there going, hey, we're as good as those guys. Like, these teams are all bunched together this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what's the feeling that, Joe Milton, is there a ceiling still for him, or is what you see is about as good as it's going to get?
Yeah, what you saw from him last week is as well as he can play. And again, Watson Brown, who I had on earlier this week with me, we do a thing on Wednesdays with him on my daily show, and we creatively enough call it Wednesdays with Watson. Well, anyway, he says to me the other day that the touchdown catch that Squirrel White made,
mm-hmm.
He said ordinarily, if you let that ball go on time, he said ordinarily that's an easy touchdown. He said that's a guy running a wheel route with a linebacker on him. He said he's got that guy clearly beat. He said because Joe Milton loves the ball hold, he said the ball doesn't come out as quickly with him. He said ordinarily you teach quarterbacks it's about 2.75 seconds and the ball's got to get out. He said Joe goes to about 3.25. He said, and I know you guys would think that's not a lot. He said a half a second out there with world-class athletes, a half a second over and over again, he said that's going to get you. And guess what? That's Joe the other day with the trouble he's having is that in these games now, he's turning the ball over with regularity. And when you turn the ball over with regularity, it's extremely difficult to win these games.
So, Tony, reassess for me. How many more L's do you see on this schedule at Kentucky, at Missouri, Georgia, and Vanderbilt also on the schedule as well? Of course, UConn is a non-conference game, but you tell me, how many L's do you see remaining on this schedule?
Well, I said before the year that 9-3 was always going to be my number, and I'm going to stick to that. I will say this though, having Moulton at quarterback makes it difficult to win road games. As you guys know, any road game in this league is hard to win. And road games, when you're because the margin of error is just so slight. Now, tomorrow night in Lexington, again, Tennessee's got to try and lose that game. But anything can happen, as you know.
Oh, yeah.
The Missouri game is interesting because they are so darn good in terms of the way their offense is playing. But their defense, you guys are a lot younger than me, but there used to be a game we called electric football where you would put the men on the board and then you would turn the game on and the men would go, and they would go like all these different directions. Like these guys are vibrating on a board, okay? That's what Missouri's defense looks like. Tackling is optional. The guys like crash test dummies out there, bouncing off people. That LSU game, I mean, if they're any good, they could have stolen that LSU game in their building. They had that thing. So I think that's a game Tennessee runs all over them. The Vols are going to lose to Georgia. They just are. Even though I think Georgia has issues.
I
think
agree.
the Vols will lose to Georgia. The crazy thing, you guys were talking about Nico a second ago. The crazy thing about Tennessee is that they're still alive in the East.
How about
even
that?
with that loss, because all you need is Georgia to slip up once, and then you have Georgia in your building second to last weekend of the year. So, and that's with the newly reworked schedule. They play Georgia way late. So, and I think in their minds they still think they're kind of alive. And why wouldn't you? As long as you're mathematically alive, you're alive.
Yeah. I do know from what I've read from ESPN and just also the scenarios, I know the SEC championship game could be set on November the 4th, but if that is not the case, Georgia still has Missouri, Ole Miss, then at Tennessee. So and you talked about the parity in this league. I don't see an elite Georgia team like we have had over the last handful of years. I think November could be completely wacky.
And conversely, you look at the West, to me, this is going to be Saban's best coaching job to get them to that championship game with that team. They just don't have playmakers. I mean, it's incredible. To me, that's a 9-3 football team that's going to go 11-1 unless LSU beats them, which is a remarkable coaching job because they really are 9-3-ish. They just are. If Lane Kiffin wasn't immune to winning signature games, they would have beaten them. but Lane Kiffin, he is the 98 degrees of college coaching. He is an absolute boy band. He's a media creation. He ought to coach the Dallas Cowboys. All the attention he gets for the production he has.
Yeah.
As head coach.
Well, at least he's not Michigan and stealing signs.
Wow, there it is.
Boy, I'll tell you, these people here have already annexed last year's South Carolina game, and they're going to put that thing in the win column. So let's run it back. Let's file a lawsuit. Let's run it back. I tell you, guys, that kind of stuff right there is what makes college football the best sport on the planet.
Oh, I agree.
It really is.
I agree. Yeah.
Apparently, this kid has written a 500-page manifesto that's out there, and I got time for that. Now, I don't know how many books I've read in like the last 5 years, but I will read Connor Stallion's 500-page manifesto. So that sounds like one sick and twisted human being right there.
I would love to know if he's related to the guy who pumped up the balls in New England.
Yeah, always good to catch up. Let everyone.
You guys are the best. Yeah, Bill Belichick's out there going, "Hey man, somebody's playing the game. Somebody's playing the game." And those old NASCAR drivers are out there going. Those old NASCAR fans are going, "Yeah, man, somebody's playing the game." It's
you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
You ain't trying. Hey guys, I'll tell you this about college football. For that reason, the way people are just going crazy on this thing, and they really are here. Some people are melting down. It is so much fun.
All right, Tony, let everyone know how they can listen to the fifth quarter show and everything else.
Thank you. So tclub.team is where you can find us. tclub.team. As soon as the game ends tomorrow, we'll be live. And the other night after the Alabama game, I bathed in that. So we did like 6 hours after the Alabama game.
No breaks.
No breaks. And I went upstairs after I was done, and I thought to myself, there's got to be a better way to make a living. And thank God for Xanax. Two things I said to myself.
Hang in there, Tony.
Oh, thanks, Tony.
Hey, you guys have a good one. Take care.
Let's get that break in. Woo, 7:52.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
And what was reported as a wreck at airport in Carl T. reported as a hit and run. I don't think it was, and I don't think anybody's hurt there. Got one southbound on the Parkway at Gulf Road that is reported with injuries. And we just picked up a stall at Slaughter and Farrow Road. HPD's got a unit headed to check that one. D&L Refrigeration repairs heating and air conditioning units for homes and businesses. D&L 256-652-1207. State license 08091. Captain Nick in the North Parkway, Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Philip Love of not only Eagle Insulation, now he represents Eagle Companies. Eagle through the years have added several companies to help individuals or builders through their construction renovation process. Eagle is known to represent quality, efficiency, and professionalism. Philip, I know you do insulation, but do you do masonry?
We do.
Do you do grading, erosion control, and dirt hauled off?
We do.
Do you do after paint, which includes shower doors, mirrors, shelving blinds, and bath hardware?
Yes, we do, Wes.
Do you do landscaping and irrigation?
Yes, we do.
So basically, Eagle can help you all along your process of building your house or doing renovations. So do you do plumbing?
We do not, Wes, but we can find somebody to do it.
Just give them time. They'll be there. Anyway, call Eagle Insulation at
256-755-1556.
Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Call Eagle today.
Thanks, Wes.
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant Bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Welcome back. Talkin Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Short time left in hour number one. Let's go out to the phone lines. Brandon's with us this morning. Good morning, Brandon.
Man, Tuesday's gone listening to that last guy. Woo. Are y'all sure that wasn't Dwight from The Office?
Tony Basilio. You want to listen to an entertaining show, just listen to the fifth quarter show after the Tennessee games. And
especially after an L.
I mean, every fan sounds like they're going to fall off the ledge.
Well, that guy right there, he was funny because he never really puts much inflection in his voice. He keeps it about a 3 on a 10 and just drops haymakers like the Dwight on The Office. I mean, he just,
the electric football reference was fantastic.
Oh, that was really good. That goes back to some really good days. I was waiting on to say Rock and Sock and Robots is what it was going to turn into.
Yeah.
Because I saw the story this morning about TCU, about Ohio State and all these other schools supposedly telling them that Michigan was stealing signs and then they're double calling and holding stuff to the end. And the Ohio State-Michigan game this year is going to be very interesting.
Ooh.
To me, it's going to be more interesting than any I've seen in the past. I mean, I wonder, is there a full-on claw hammer fight in the parking lot before the game? What's going to go on? And if it did, I would want that last guy to be the guy on the microphone. He's like, oh, well, he's took out Granny. I mean, just those low calls that he would make would be perfect. He would be a really good, like, celebrity deathmatch announcer with the cadence and the way he talks. He was just, that dude is hilarious.
Yeah, well, so, you know, what Tony Basilio was referencing was the fact that South Carolina, Connor Stallions filmed Tennessee and Clemson sidelines for calls. South Carolina becomes unstoppable in the win against Tennessee. They wore wristbands in the game against Tennessee. They don't ever wear wristbands on defense.
Yeah.
So that's what Tony Basilio was referring to in the whole Tennessee-South Carolina saga, and that South Carolina's defensive coordinator was Harbaugh's defensive backs coach in 2009. So there was the ties there. Thanks, Brandon. That's hour one in the books. A lot of interesting stuff going on in hour one. Hour two is going to kick off. Bob Godsey, Masson Academy head coach, joins us next.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Unlike other credit cards that decline sports betting transactions or treat them as a cash advance, the G-Bank Visa Signature Card can load directly to your favorite sportsbook apps. G.bank/VSiN.
Top 25 football this weekend. Number 1, Georgia looks to remain unbeaten when they visit Florida. The Gators are 14.5-point underdogs at home. 2 matchups with ranked teams going head-to-head. Number 8, Oregon visits number 13, Utah. Both teams 6-1 overall, both 3-1 in the Pac-12. Utah, a 6.5-point underdog at home. Number 20, Dukes at number 18, Louisville. Blue Devils 5-2 overall, 2-1 in the ACC. Louisville 6-1, 3-1 in the conference. Louisville's favored by 4.5 in that one. Number 5, Washington looks to remain unbeaten. They're 7-0 on the road visiting 2-5 Stanford. Washington by 27.5. Get the latest lines and more at vsin.com.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to Talkin Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
All right, welcome back to Talking Ball on a Friday morning that you look at the calendar, and there are teams across North Alabama that'll be playing their final game of the regular season tonight. There are teams that'll be playing their last region game tonight. Believe it or not, there are playoff berths still up for grabs. There are region titles still up for grabs. If you look at the state playoff stuff, they have queues by people's names that have made the playoffs. But what you want, Drew, is a Q and a 1. Because that means you have won your region and you have won the region title. Madison Academy has 1 Q right now.
Yeah.
They want the 1.
Yeah, they've won the region championship, they're going to be the 1 seed. They've won the region title over JB Pennington due to their win early in the season, 26-21. But what they're trying to do is finish off an unbeaten slate in the regular season, which is they've got 2 games remaining, and they want to finish their region slate unbeaten. And really, this is when the playoffs start, because the 2 teams they're playing in the next 2 weeks, the Susan Moore Bulldogs, are definitely going to be in the playoffs. They have had a really good year. They are 5-3 and 4-1 in region to play in 3A Region 7, and they're still playing for region seeding. So they could really throw this into a 3-way dance if they won this game. So again. But Madison Academy, what they're doing is they control their own destiny, and they've earned it. They're 8-0 right now, ranked in the top 5 in the state in all of 3A football. And we always enjoy our visits with head coach Bob Godsey, and he's visiting with us this morning on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach, we always talk about the cooler weather. Now tonight, actually, it's going to be mild, but you guys are coming off of a big win last week. And honestly, to me, when I look at your schedule, this is when the playoffs really start, because you're trying to finish off this region championship against a really good opponent tonight, and then we all know the end of the regular season, another region champion from Westminster, which is going to be like a playoff game, awaits. This is kind of what you play for.
You're right. We're excited about it. Both of them are on the road, and so it was exactly the way we're kind of approaching it as a road playoff game with both of these, and two really good teams. And as you get into next week, obviously Westminster, and you got the rival part of that as well. They're the 4A champion over here as well. So we're excited about those opportunities. We're excited about the competition, and hopefully we can do well.
Well, Coach, this is the 8th straight game. It is towards the end of the season, and I know the kids, you got your eyes on the playoffs, you got your eyes on the bigger prize, but 8 straight games can be kind of hard on the body. How's the mental side coming, and how is the freshness of this team going into the Susan Moore game?
Well, we feel really good about that right now. We feel like our guys are pretty fresh. We had 2 really good really kind of physical hard days on Monday and Tuesday. We practiced yesterday morning in order to go support a volleyball team. So wasn't probably as crisp. Still had a good day. Wasn't as crisp as far as execution yesterday morning. But I felt like we've had a really good week. I feel like we're getting healthy. We've been kind of banged up, and we get another guy back for a few plays hopefully this week to kind of see how that goes, and as we creep closer to the actual playoffs, hopefully we'll be back to full strength.
Yeah, that's a really key, Coach, because you have, especially along the lines of scrimmage, the offensive line, you've been without some key guys over the last few weeks, but you've also been able to develop depth. You certainly had a chance to play everybody last week in that shutout win against Brindley Mountain. And, of course, that was a very emotional game, too, because, Coach, I mean, whenever you play on senior night, this is a really special group that's been with you throughout your run at Madison Academy. And some of these guys you've really molded, like a Jackson Reese. He had not played a lot of, tackle football before he was involved in your program. But senior nights are always special, and they played at a very high level last week, I thought, in all three phases to get that win.
Well, you're right. It was. We talked a little bit last week about it's going to be bittersweet, and it was really tough, talking with those guys and out on the field and their parents, and because like you said, this is the group we kind of started with, and regardless of when they joined, if it was a year late, 2 years late, something like that, this has been a really good group, and hope it continues. As we said, we're going to continue to grind this thing a little bit and make this thing last as long as possible. But very emotional. It was for me. It was for some parents. But that group, once again, showed a lot of maturity, showed a lot of unity, and went out and took care of business and played at a high level.
Well, tonight you're going to get a Susan Moore squad that's going to be a little angry. They got beat last week 28-7 by the hands of J.B. Pennington. Yeah. So they're coming into this one feeling a little salty. So, you guys want to try to finish off the season well, so it should make for a good matchup.
Well, I think so. Coach Wes Patterson has done an excellent job there, kind of back home, so to speak, being at the stadium is named after his father. So he's kind of gotten things righted there pretty quick in his first year, and they play hard. They're very sound with what they do on offense and defense, and we'll have to be at the top of our game. As you said, they're coming off a loss as J.B. Pennington, went there and beat them as well. So we're going to do our best to do the same. We just, want to make sure we go there and play well and execute, well ourselves.
And Coach, you're very familiar with that family. I believe that's Pod Patterson's son and Matt Patterson's brother, correct? You had Matt on your staff at Madison Academy a couple of years ago.
Yes, Matt was with us for a year. And of course, I think everybody knows Pod or has been around him, whether it's been through coaching or sporting goods or whatever. So it's obviously a coaching family there, and we even Wes and I even crossed paths back. I think he was the defense coordinator at Gardendale 2 years back. We played them when I was at Hartselle. So a football family, a family that does it right, always done it right, and looking forward to that competition.
What are you going to see tonight from Susan Moore? What do they bring to the table offensively and defensively?
Well, like I said, they're going to do things right. They're going to be in the right places. They're going to make you make plays. Offensively, they're going to give you a lot of different sets and formations, and try to spread you out. Bring you in close and just kind of mess with you in terms of making sure that you're sound and disciplined and in the right spots. And then defensively, it's the same way. They're going to be where they're supposed to be. You're going to have to out-execute them, offensively and make some plays.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, Coach. And I imagine this group they've certainly enjoyed this journey so far, getting to 8-0. But these are these games that are that they're kind of circled because you circled J.B. Pennington early. Everybody knew about the Randolph and Deschler games, and you guys were kind of on a revenge tour there. And now you're trying to finish off region play, and then you'll get a shot. Everybody knows, but regardless of the competition or the outcome with the Westminster game, both are going to be potential or have a good shot. You guys at a region title, and Westminster's already finished it off, so you're both going to be at home for the playoffs. But that's going to be a game where you just sort of test yourself, and you hopefully get some guys back in the mix that have been banged up that can start getting in tune and getting some snaps. And also it's about competing, and I'm sure that the guys, that's probably why practice has been lively, because this is what you guys have sort of circled since early in the season.
Well, I hope so. I think the guys are kind of excited because of the time of year. And, I think that was been the case this week in practice, and, and having, more guys back. Like I said, Monday and Tuesday, it wasn't for the faint of heart out there. And it was fun to see. Glad we got through, most of it, without any bumps and bruises. And now as you bring guys back into the fold, it's almost starting over again as you got different rotations and. Guys are back in original spots, but they haven't been playing there the last couple of weeks. So you're trying to, to catch back up with the continuity of the rotations and, where we're going to play and who's going to do what. And, how much can this guy who's coming back from an injury, how much can we really expect him to play? Those type things. So we got some of that going on both offense and defense. The positive to all that is we got more guys now to be able to put on the field that have played and can play at a high level, and that should just bode well for us as we work into the playoffs.
Coach, you have told us 100 times over that it's not about the opponent; it's about what you guys do, what you guys want to accomplish. How impressed have you been over the past 3 weeks that you've been able to do that, where not getting caught up in what the other team has done or not done up to this point, but going out and doing what you guys need to do to get where you want to be?
Been very pleased with the guys, kind of how they've approached things, whether it's been, in practice or whether it's been, preparing for the games. And, part of it's handling the distractions or just everyday life, whether it be fall break, whether it be homecoming, whether it be, our volleyball team being in the regionals, exciting time there. We got guys going and supporting them, and we certainly want them to do that. At the same time, you got to come in and get your work in and be ready for those type things, while you're still handling your business in the classroom and things like that. So I've been very pleased up to this point with that. I feel like we're still growing. I feel like we're still getting better. I still think there's things that we can do better. As we watch film, this morning early, on just that, had a good day yesterday. Certainly, a lot of things that we can improve on and get better with, and that's our goal.
And we're talking to Bob Godsey, fifth-year head football coach of the Madison Academy Mustangs. And Coach, it's interesting with this group because, as you said, you're getting guys back, at least 4 guys that have been out. How do you decide the workload for them in games like this, and how do you make sure that your team is continuing to improve and get better and not peak too early?
Well, as far as the workload, you're watching them in practice and kind of seeing how they're doing. And obviously, you're getting feedback from the trainers and the doctors and things of that nature, and from the player themselves in terms of kind of how they feel. But a lot of it's just how they look as they're on the field, and whether it be in practice or in games and things of that nature. And we're always going to do what's best for the young man. We're not going to put anybody in harm's way. Everybody wants to play. They want to be out there. A lot of times it's just allowing them to kind of make those decisions. As yesterday we got ready to work some offense. Look up, and our original 5 were kind of up there. Nobody told them to do that. Nobody told them it was the original setup was like that for the first time. And that's a good sign. It tells you that's a young man that wants to be in there and that type thing. And we'll continue to give him reps and as well as work those other guys. As far as the complacency thing like that, only thing I know is just keep working. And we talk about it a lot. We talk about the things in life that we want the most are earned, and that comes with sacrifices, that comes with dedication, that comes from hard work, it comes from giving to for someone else, which gets that sacrifice type part. Things don't come easy, and when we start buying into that easy and get comfortable with that easy and things like that, that tends to be when that complacency slips in. But we are human beings, so we're doing everything we can to fight against that. We have a mature team, an older team, I think, that gets it and understands, the evils of that. So hopefully that will help us as well.
All right, Coach. Well, best of luck for you tonight, 7 o'clock on the road, Susan Moore.
Yeah, it'll be
region finale.
Yeah, Glenn Laird, Steve Moulton on the call. These journeys go by quickly. And, Coach, what's going to be the key to getting that dub?
Well, I think just handling the travel, handling being in a new place, going somewhere where none of us have ever been, and then the same things. That's handling, taking care of the football, making sure that we're assignment sound. Defensively is communicating with each other and making plays in space.
Well, we really look forward to the broadcast, Coach. Thank you for always being so generous with us, and good luck to the Mustangs as they look to polish off this 3A Region 7 title. Go Mustangs, and thank you for the time.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Coach. Today's interview brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, dedicated to providing care that improves lives. Give them a call today, 256-881-5151, to experience the SportsMed difference. SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, dedicated to providing care that improves lives. Let's get into a break. When we come back, Talkin Ball is going to return, 256-576-4977.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
One accident working now. This one southbound on the Parkway at Gulf Road. It did report it as an injury type. Traffic signal problem reported in Hartselle, 36 and 31. It had lumber in the road southbound on the Parkway near Martin Road. HPD should have that taken care of shortly. From routine care to heart failure, Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialist on Bob Wallace have the expertise to care for all matters of the heart. Captain Nick in the North Parkway, Popeye's Skywatch Traffic Center.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Looking for your next game day party destination? Well, think outside the box and kick back at Flosa Premier. And you may be thinking, isn't that the trampoline place? Of course it is. But it's also the one-stop spot for all things fun. And if kicking back with the boys to watch the game is your jam, then you're in the right spot. Jump or not, Flo tends to all ages, meaning while you sit back and watch the game, but little Jimmy's having the time of his life perfecting that front flip he most definitely wants to show you. You got this, Jimmy. So next time you think Flo, think fun for everyone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here. Score big deals at Baumhauer's this football season and order from our Inflation Bites menu. Try our Buffalo Wing Special with fries and a complimentary beverage for only $9.99. And what's football without a cold beer? Our pitchers of Yingling and Yingling Flight are only $7.99, served all day, 7 days a week. And huddle up, football fans. Sign up today for our free NFL Pick'em contest at Baumhauers.com for weekly prizes. Baumhauers, legendary fun and legendary food.
If you work in a dangerous or logistically intense industry, you know good training can be a challenge. There are training costs, safety concerns, and difficulty replicating real-world scenarios. There's a better way used right now in the Army and in all our armed services to better prepare our heroes, and it's available to you in your organizations. Higher Echelon's Game Development Team is revolutionizing learning in military training, dangerous industry, STEM, and sports performance domains with cutting-edge virtual training that immerses you in lifelike scenarios without the cost and safety concerns for trainees. With Higher Echelon's game-based training, you'll experience realistic simulations, precision accuracy, and unparalleled safety. Higher Echelon founder Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets and puts that experience to use. His team has been building cutting-edge virtual training environments for soldiers and clients for a decade. Higher Echelon, the name you can trust for advanced training solutions. Reach out at higherechelon.com to get your free consultation. Go higher and go Army.
And welcome back in. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you on a Friday morning that sees high school football once again take center stage. And as we count down towards the end of the regular season, hard to believe that we are at this point where there are several teams. Again, we said it earlier, there are several teams that will be finishing up their region, several teams that will be finishing up region championships, home playoff games, everything else like that. In Class 4A Region 8, we know Westminster is going to win the region. They got that last week with their win against Priceville. But what we don't know is who is else going to be at home for round one of the playoffs. Is it going to be Randolph? Is it going to be Priceville? Who is it going to be? And I tell you what, it would be really cool if both of them played tonight.
And they happen to do that.
Well, I'll be darned.
Yeah, Bailey Lowry, our resourceful producer, and I will be on the call at over at Priceville. It's going to be over at Bulldog Stadium, so we're excited about that. And bring you the late action as we have all season on Zone 3 on our streaming network. There's a lot at stake for the Randolph Raiders. They know they're in the tournament for the fourth year in a row, but they're trying for the third year in a row to get a home playoff game. That would be huge for the program, no question about that. And they certainly they made a big run last year, the biggest run in school history, by winning the first round playoff game. And then they go on the road to Dora in round 2, win that game. And so it was outstanding performances from the Randolph Raiders to get to the quarterfinals before they lost to a team that went to the state championship in Cherokee County. They're hoping to make a similar run this year. Certainly a heartbreaker 35-34 early in the year to the region champion Westminster at Sports Medfield, but they have everything in front of them, and certainly they'd love to beat the Priceville Bulldogs tonight. Chris Foster does a great job, but that's going to be a huge challenge. It's going to be on the road, and they came over to Sports Medfield and won the region last year, Scott. But they have kind of hit the skids a little bit the last couple of weeks. They were rolling along undefeated in region play, and now have lost back-to-back region games to North Jackson and then a heartbreaker to Westminster 36-29 last week. So there's going to be a home playoff game at stake tonight and for the winner of this game. And we're going to now speak about it and talk about last week's win, the senior night against New Hope, and this challenge looking ahead to tonight in Priceville with the head football coach of the Raiders, and that is David Lloyd. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Great, guys. How you guys doing?
Doing good. Another Friday night, Coach. We don't get too many more of these this week. This is next to this one. You only have one more regular season game left.
Yeah, that's it. You know what? The season. I mean, I feel like it gets faster every year you coach, or every year you're in it. So we're looking forward to. That's what we tell our seniors, man. You better take advantage of every one of these. You don't get a lot of them. To be over before you know it, and we just want to prepare every week and do everything we can to be ready to play on Friday night. So we're looking forward to it to see what happens tonight.
Yeah, Coach, and talk about it. I mean, it was earlier this morning we talked to Bob Godsey, and and he told us that senior night is always emotional. It's always tough because you're saying goodbye to guys potentially that could be their last home game. We certainly hope it's not for our Raiders, but this is a special group. This is your fourth year. You came in with these guys when they were freshmen, and so seeing these guys through is even extra emotional. And talk about the way they played on senior night last week against New Hope.
I thought every one of our seniors contributed greatly to our win last week against New Hope. I think if you we've got 4 guys that have been 4-year players, so those 4 have been with us since year one, and just to watch them grow year in and year out, and the way they've developed and what they've contributed to our team and our program and our school community, it's just fun to watch those guys go out there and play. And none more than William Collins, just watching his growth over 4 years, and where he's come from as he's been a starting lineman for 3 years, and he's transitioned to running back this year. Watching Eli Isbell come off the injury last year he had against Westminster and not be able to finish the rest of the season. See the year he's had for us. He's really anchored the defensive line for us. You've had Davis Killingsworth, who's been just such a great factor for us the last 2 years on the offensive and defensive lines. To watch him play well, to do the things he needed to do there, and just see how far Rowan Campbell has come since his freshman year. He's been such a leader for us on the field. He's such an intelligent football player. He's able to see things and talk things over with the coaches on the sideline, and he's been a huge part of our success this year. So just to see those 4 guys that we've had for 4 years and to see each one of them contribute to a big win for us on senior night was really fun to watch for us.
Well, Coach, you look at this team the last 2-3 weeks. Since the bye week, 46 points against Madison County, 75 points against DAR. Everybody contributed, special teams, offense, defense, and that one, 49 points again last week. What's been the key the past 3 weeks to find this different gear as the season kind of winds down?
The second half, apparently. We hadn't scored a lot in the first half, but we played some really good second halves the last couple of weeks, and that's great. But we're going to need 4 quarters this week to get by. Well, they're a really tough football team. Offensively, what they do kind of takes the ball out of your hands a little bit, so you got to be really efficient when you do get the ball offensively. But our guys have just answered the challenge each and every week, and we still don't feel like we played our best football right now. I'm hoping we're saving that for the next few games we've got. We just need to play better in the first half and get started kind of fast. But, just watching the way our guys respond to adversity, I don't think you can have enough of that. When you're getting ready to make a playoff run or you want to win big games in the playoffs, you need to be pushed, you need to be challenged. And we've certainly had those with the schedule we've played, the losses we have. Those 3 teams are top 5 in the state in scoring averages offensively. All of them are, they've got 1 loss between the 3 teams. They're all region champions. So we've played a pretty tough schedule for us to prepare us for games like tonight and prepare us for games that we're going to see in the playoffs.
And there's no doubt, Coach, and certainly that's kind of the way you set the schedule up. Nobody in 4A played as tough for opening 2 weeks when you're talking about the West Morgan Rebels unbeaten and then Madison Academy unbeaten in 4A and 3A respectively. Both can score a ton of points. And I think it helped your team grow. And, of course, inevitably, when you have a roster of 40-plus kids and you have a lot of kids playing both ways, there's going to be guys get banged up. There has been during this journey, but what I've enjoyed watching with this group is the guys that have taken advantage of opportunities to grow and kind of the next man up mentality. We've already seen it with Bradford Hall, who has played some outstanding linebacker for you with Daniel Martin going out early in the season, Coach. And certainly I thought he continued to play well last week. And I know he had an interception against DAR as well. So he's played really well. And then a guy like Hunter Wiggins, who is a new player. I mean, he sat out last year, but certainly he had a pick 6 against DAR as well. And he has been a bigger factor the last few weeks offensively also. So a couple of those guys and a guy like Park Strickland, I think, have really stepped up for you.
Yeah, those guys have all done a really good job for us. And, I think another guy, Gibson Smith, has come in and played really well for us on the offensive line. And that's kind of the way you have to operate, especially when you have a small roster. If one guy goes down, you can't pack it in. You still got a lot of football left, and you still got guys that can help you and contribute. You just got to get that guy ready and hope that the senior leadership and his teammates around him get him ready. And as his coaches, we prepared him to play his best on Friday night to be able to help our team perform at our best. So that's kind of what we want to do. And we've had a lot of guys step in and fill those roles. And you've got a lot of first-year starters on our team that have contributed greatly to our success this year. You named off Hunter Wiggins and Park Strickland. I think Noah Gaunt's played well for us this year. Found the end zone a few times. Been really great for us in the passing game. Theo Reischauer had a really great game last week on senior night. We got him into the end zone finally. Thomas Von Offeld has been such a force for us defensively. And just to watch his journey over the last couple of years of where he was able to end up right now. He's kind of been that right-hand man to William Collins since Daniel Martin's been out. But Von's played such a great job for us on defense this year. And, we just have to have guys step up, do their job. And just play with relentless effort for 4 quarters. And if we can do that, we feel like we always got a chance to have a win at the end of the game.
Well, Coach, obviously you're going to you mentioned you need to play 4 quarters. You mentioned you'd love for it to happen tonight against Priceville. What have you seen from Priceville? What are they going to be bringing to the field tonight?
they're physical. They're going to run the football, and the offense they play is it's kind of a misconception a little bit. People look at it and they pack you in a box and they think it's going to be kind of a slower ball controlled offense, which it is, but it also has the ability to be an explosive offense. Defensively, we're going to have to fit it right every time, and that's what's kind of frustrating about playing against those guys is they could go 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and then that next play they break a 70-yard touchdown run because you didn't fit it right one time. And that's the frustrating part. They've got a really good running back. Their quarterback's really tough, really runs the ball hard for them. They do some stuff defensively that you really kind of hadn't seen throughout the year, so they're a little unique on both sides of the football. But they're going to want to run the football. They're going to want to control the clock, and that's why we've talked all week. We've got to be efficient offensively. We're not going to get as many possessions as we probably normally would in a game. So we've got to make every one we get count. And we've got to take advantage of every opportunity we're going to get.
Yeah, and Coach, I think a fast start would be crucial as well because you'd like to play from out in front with these guys because, as we know, there was very few punts last week because against Westminster they were going for it a lot on 4th down too. If it's 4th and 5 or less, they're going to go for it quite a bit. So stops are paramount, and any kind of turnover is huge against a team of this caliber.
I agreed. And, the big thing there is I think our defense has done a great job the last few weeks getting key stops and getting some takeaways. And offensively, we got to be able to take advantage of when that side of the ball plays well. If we get that big stop, if we get that turnover, we can't come up empty-handed on the other side of it. We've got to be able to take advantage of those opportunities. They're going to run the ball very effectively. Like you said, they're in most chances, they're a 4-down team. They feel very confident about their ability to go get 4 and 5 yards. So I think it changes the way you have to kind of call plays and what you have to look at because now 3rd down is not that get off the field down. It turns into 4 downs. And that changes the mindset of your defensive players that there's not a sigh of relief when you get that stop on 3rd down because they're about to line up and do it again. So we got to be focused there. We got to do our job and we just have to execute at a high level. And, some of those guys are going to have to come in and play some roles for us. And, they're just going to have to be prepared to play and get ready for tonight.
Mm-hmm. And then, Coach, talk about I know you've watched film of these guys. They've got Blitz Clemens running the ball. They had more variety in the running game last year a little bit, but they still do a lot of misdirection. As you said, they still have the ability to be explosive. What's going to kind of be the keys defensively, in kind of slowing down this group?
One, we've got to match their physicality on the football field. We got to match it up front on the offensive and defensive lines. The style of football they're going to play on both sides. I think the game's going to be one for us up front with our offensive line and our defensive line. We got to make sure that we're reading our keys, we're executing at a high level, we're getting the calls in fast enough, we're relaying those calls. Like we've got to communicate to each other clearly, and we just have to line up and play our best football for 4 quarters. So I think defensively, that's where we have to be. We got to know what our assignment is, we have to know what our alignment is, and then we have to do that snap after snap after snap.
And then, Coach, obviously offensively, balance is key. The identity of this team has been interesting. You mentioned the offensive line, 300-yard rushers last week. William Mitchell, William Collins with 3 rushing touchdowns. Graham Beatty has become a bigger and bigger factor at running back throughout this season. Made another explosive run on Friday night. Is balance going to be the key offensively when you're attacking Priceville?
I think you strive for balance every week, and I think some people look at balance as they want to run the ball 20 times and throw it 20 times. But for us, balance for us is if we need to throw for 300 and run for 100 this week to win, that's what we'll do. And if we need to run for 300 and throw for 100 the next week to win, that's what we're going to do. So we have to be perfectly fine with taking what they're going to allow us to take. I think we've been able to run the ball very effectively this year. We've been able to throw the ball, I think, with the same effectiveness. We might not be the explosive downfield team that we were last year with the weapons that we had, but we still do a good job in the passing game of being efficient and trying to hurt people that way. And our running game, we've really leaned on it the last couple of weeks to help us out there. Like you said, Graham Beatty, I think he's got the potential to take it 80 yards every time he touches it. He's such an explosive runner. He's got great vision. William Collins has kind of been the hammer for us to kind of grind out guys towards the end and just kind of be a physical runner for us. And William Mitchell's done a phenomenal job when we've called his number as a QB running the football for us. So we feel like we've got several weapons that can carry the ball effectively, and we just have to be content with what we're going to get and what the defense is going to allow us to take. And we've got to take advantage of that, and we've got to play with high effort, and we got to do that all night.
Man, it's going to be a super exciting atmosphere, Scott.
Yeah, well, good luck, Coach, tonight. I mean, final region game. It's a beautiful night for football.
Yes, sir, it is.
Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful one. Should be in the 60s when the sun goes down. Going to be a great atmosphere. Should be packed over at Priceville, and we know the Raider Nation is going to travel well. Really appreciate your time, Coach, and we look forward to the call tonight and hope to bring back a home playoff game for the Raiders in a couple of weeks back at Sports Med Field for this special senior class. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Appreciate it, guys. Go Raiders.
Thanks. David Lloyd, head coach, Randolph Raiders, tonight, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Make sure you have the app downloaded. You can listen to a lot of high school football tonight. We'll run it all down and more. Coming up on Talkin Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Definitely a little more cloud cover across the Tennessee Valley. Still, temperature's going to have no problem climbing into the lower 80s. We're dropping into the low 60s through the overnight. Much the same for your Saturday. A partly sunny sky. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid 80s. Definitely going to be an exceptionally warm Saturday afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. We only drop into the mid 60s as we head into the overnight, early into your Sunday morning. A partly sunny sky on Sunday afternoon. Once again, temperatures climbing into the mid 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Got a new wreck on the Parkway. This one's going to be just north of Sparkman. Came in with a report of injury, but it looks like they've canceled Himsey on it. And we had Parkway near Golf Road. That one did have an injury involved. Sounds like the lumber's been moved out of the roadway southbound on the Parkway at Martin. And we still may have a traffic signal problem in Hartselle at 36 and 31. The end of the year is coming. If you need temp help or accounting help for special projects, Snelling can help. Snelling, how the area's best companies hire talent. Huntsville.snelling.com. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Did you know that average home equity is at an all-time high? But so is average consumer debt. Even though rates are higher now, you can use your equity to pay off your high consumer debt, student loans, etc., then refi when the rates drop. Don't put off that new home purchase. When rates drop, prices will go up. Buy now and get the best price and then refi when the rates drop. This is the time to talk to the experts at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit northalabamamortgage.com for more information.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
There you go. Welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson with you. Steve Moulton, he's at the Von Braun Center. See, everyone wanted to leave me today. Everyone left me. Drew's in Tuscaloosa. Steve said, okay, I've sat in an hour. I'm good. I'm done. I'm leaving you now. Everyone's leaving me. That's okay. You and I will hold down the fort for the next 20 minutes. Let's go out to the phone lines. Busy night. It's a busy night for us here at 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. 4 high school football games, 1 hockey game. AL.com has got a ton of stuff going on as well. Jimmy Lay joining us now like he does each and every Friday. Kind of let us know what they've got going on there high school football-wise. Jimmy, welcome in.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, it is. It's a very busy night. I'll have the Westminster at New Hope, but then I've also got Madison Academy, Susan Moore, Gunnersville, Sardis, Sparkman, Florence, Randolph, Priceville, and Bob Jones at Albertville. So I will be really busy tonight. So, yeah, I need to get me an AI app to write up some of these things for me or something. But, yeah, it's going to be busy.
That Class 5A Region 7 there, Scottsboro, Arab, Gunnersville, Sardis, that region, I tell you what, I was looking at that one, and I mean, it is as tight as ever going into the final week of region play.
Yeah, you got a 3-way tie, and all 3 have beaten the other ones, and so it really, what they do tonight is could determine it. Now, if they all win, then you go into the crazy tiebreaker system, which could come down to who they play in their final game, which is a non-region game, and who how that shakes out. So I want to say that they've all won their non-region games. So it could get all the way down to the final thing, which I think is a coin flip, which is just kind of crazy. But even more crazy is 7A Region 4. Region 4. I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at the lineup. You got James Clemens clinched, so they're in.
Yes.
That's a lot. You don't have to worry about that. But then you got Florence 2, Austin 3, Bob Jones 4, Huntsville 5, and Sparkman 6. Now, I'm looking at who beat who and who they lost to, and all I know is if 2, 3, and 4 win, Sparkman and Huntsville are eliminated.
Yes. If Austin gets a win tonight, they're at home for round 1. That I know. That's about it.
Because they will have beaten Florence. Okay.
Yes.
But it's just crazy. Austin. I would say right now, Austin's playing the best. They're playing. They're on a 6-game winning streak. They're playing the best at anybody, but they possibly could be third, even though they're playing the best. So it's insane. I can't even begin to go, well, this team beats this team and this and that. It's just really wild. You look at 3A Region 7, Madison Academy's got that one locked up because they beat Pennington, they beat J.P. Pennington, and they beat Susan Moore. Even if they were to somehow lose to Susan Moore, I guess that would be a 3-way tie.
Yeah, if they would lose to Susan Moore would have the advantage over Madison Academy, but Academy would have the advantage over Pennington.
Yeah, and then they'd have to go into their non-regions, and Susan Moore has 3 losses, so they got more. They would probably be out. They would go head-to-head with J.P. Pennington and Madison Academy, and I guess they get that one. But the big one in 4A Region 8 tonight is Randolph at Priceville. And this one's kind of crazy, too, because if Randolph wins, they lock up number 2. They get the first-round home game. Priceville's basically out of the playoffs. They would need JP2 they would need North Jackson to lose to DAR. Don't think that's going to happen. They'd need JP2 to lose to Madison County, and I think JP2 is going to win that. So The only thing you know for sure in that region is that Westminster Christian is the region champ. They're trying to finish out the season. I heard you talking to Coach Godsey earlier.
Yeah.
And the basic thing there is you just don't want to get anybody hurt. You know, it's a tune-up for the playoffs. You want to stay sharp, but at the same time you want to protect your guys like Brandon Mush. I know he's hitting some records. He's third all time in touchdowns and in total yards. Would love to see him have a big night, but they're going to need him for the playoffs. And so I would say this: if Westminster's up big in the third quarter, they may shut it down with him. I don't know, but it's just going to be a busy night, and we may not know who the region champs are until that final game next week, if it comes down to some of these regions and who they played in their non-region games.
Wow. You got a busy night ahead of you.
I do, and I will try to give a call after, from New Hope after the Westminster game to let you know how that went. And I got all these coaches. Some of these coaches are awesome the way they send me the information. They send it so great. It's almost like I can just cut and paste and put it into my article. Some of them, not so much. I got to pick and choose, and some of them they forget. I got to go to their Twitter pages and try to find stuff to get the information. You're almost doing investigative work to try to find out about some of these games, but we do what we do so people can find out what happened.
All right, Jimmy Leif, Mail.com. Well, safe travels out there tonight. New Hope is not too far, but safe travels. Enjoy the game. Beautiful weather for you tonight.
It'll be great tonight. Not so much next week.
All right, Jimmy. Thanks for joining us, bud.
Thank you.
All right, Jimmy Lay, AL.com, joining us each and every week. Putting a cap on the region regular season tonight, and as you heard, there is a plenty afoot tonight as far as intrigue goes, playoff spots, region titles, who's getting in, who's getting out. We may not know, kind of like our election sometimes. You may not know when you go to bed who's going to win. Got to get a break in. When we come back, your tomorrow's headline is going to wrap us all up. Coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
And a wreck on the Parkway north of Sparkman that turned out to be a no injury. Still may be working to clear it. Had one on the Parkway southbound near Golf Road. No injury reported there. And possibly one on the access road of the Parkway near Governors. I think it came in as a no injury as well. You get 2 pieces of hand-breaded, juicy, tender signature chicken and a buttermilk biscuit for $4.99 at Popeyes. University and Jordan, 72 and Jeff, and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRIEND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
One of the best-kept golf secrets in the Tennessee Valley is Cherokee Ridge. Cherokee Ridge truly offers golf at a higher level with immaculate greens set against a spectacular Appalachian backdrop. This 18-hole championship course takes every advantage of rolling hills, whispering woods, lakes, and streams. Interested in becoming a member? Their membership plans feature affordable options for couples, families, and individuals. Book your tee time today, 256-841-4551. Cherokee Ridge. Championship quality, affordable prices.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time, or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Work injuries happen in Alabama all the time, whether it's an accident at work, getting injured, lifting heavy objects, hurting your hands on a machine, or just performing the same movement over and over until your body breaks down. But when it happens, there's only one law firm to call in Alabama. That's Pond Lehocky Giordano. For personalized legal support, reach out to Pond Lehocky at 855-774-3838 or pondlehocky.com.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms of varicose veins include pain, swelling, aching, heaviness, and fatigue. Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville can diagnose and treat your varicose veins with the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Call 256-715-7151 to schedule your free screening. Go to bestveincarehuntsville.com.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable professional in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
This segment of Talkin Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
While tonight is a busy night of high school football, once again, make sure you have the app downloaded, 97.7 ESPN app. Have it in the palm of your hands. You can have us 24/7 now. Normally on a Saturday you would have Alabama football, but Alabama has their feet up for the weekend. So you will get Georgia and Florida, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, going on tomorrow in Jacksonville. Right now, Georgia still 14.5-point favorite. Your over-under is 49. You get to wake up tomorrow with SEC football as well, 11 a.m. Texas A&M at home against South Carolina. The Aggies, 15.5-point favorite in this one. Your over-under is 52.5. At 2:30 on the SEC Network, Auburn at home. 51.5 is your, 41 is your over-under. There's no way those guys are going to have a 51.5 over-under between Auburn and Mississippi State. Auburn, a 6.5-point favorite at home. So we'll see what Hugh Freeze and company can do at home. They have looked really good at home, really bad on the road. Texas A&M, LSU, not looking good. Ole Miss, Georgia, for the most part, looking good at home. So what will Auburn and Hugh Freeze do there? What will the quarterback situation look like for Auburn? Can Peyton Thorne finally figure it out? We'll have to wait and see. Kentucky, 51.5 points is your over-under for Kentucky and Tennessee. Tennessee, a 3.5-point favorite. And then Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, 6:30. Ole Miss, a 24.5-point favorite. Your over-under is 63. That is your SEC slate. Let's go out to the phone lines. Joey is with us this morning. Good morning, sir.
14.5 ain't enough, fella. They're going to kill the Gators tomorrow.
You think it's going to be more than 14.5? You think this one is locked?
I think they beat. I think it's. I got them 45-13.
And this series has been very predictable, I think. The team that is better, which is Georgia, the team that has the most talent, Georgia, usually comes out on top and comes out in a big way. This series has been, I think, very predictable over the past few seasons.
Well, you know what Kirby's got to do, right? All he needs to do is take the last year's halftime locker room speech, replay it a couple times, and those guys will go out there and run through them boys like it ain't nothing. Without Bowers.
Well, yeah, and that is the thing. Brock Bowers, well, I'm going to say top three, one of the top three, if not top comp player in college football. I mean, Georgia needed him against Auburn. I'm not saying that they're going to need him against Florida, but they could miss him in a game like this.
Yeah, but, last year about this time is when they started peaking. I mean, I'm not saying we're going to win a national championship. I mean,
right.
I don't think right now they're there. I'm not saying that they don't have the talent to get there. But I'm saying they do have enough talent to whoop Florida up and down the field.
This is Georgia's most difficult stretch. A lot of people want to give Georgia a hard time because of their schedule, but this is their most difficult stretch of the year. After Florida, right now, after Florida, 3 ranked teams in a row. You got a ranked Missouri, a ranked Ole Miss, and a ranked Tennessee. So we'll see if Georgia can answer all of the questions about this Bulldog team without Brock Bowers, their best player by far. Joey, thanks for the phone call. Thanks for everybody for joining us. By the way, in case you are wondering, chances to make the college football playoff according to ESPN, FBI, Ohio State a 73% chance, Georgia a 30.9% chance to make the playoffs, Alabama a 30.5% chance to make the playoffs according to ESPN, FBI. So there you go. Bulldogs pretty much tied for the chance to make the playoffs. They're saying if Alabama and Georgia gets to the SEC title game, whoever wins that is getting in, the other one, not. All right, we'll be back at it Monday morning, 7 o'clock, Talkin Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead ran away